We made it, KFC SuperCoachers. The bye rounds are over. Before we launch into the final 9 rounds with no more blue dots, let's look at who was hot and who was cold in round 15. Now, it's fair to say the Eagles did not put up a heap of resistance at the SCG on Saturday night. The Swans, as a whole, scored almost 1,000 more KFC SuperCoach points. You do not see that very often, and 3 Sydney players going over 150. ERROL GULDEN was at the top of the list, 164 KFC SuperCoach points. Absolutely massive, especially in a bye round. 3 goals, 5 tackles to go with his 32 disposals. Loving life on a wing. He's averaging 107 for the year now, which is more than 20 points up on his average last year, so he's been a sensational pick. Another absolute classic between Adelaide and Collingwood. The Crows are really unlucky again, and one man who was quite unlucky at the death was Jordan Dawson, who had some appeals for a free kick. Could have had a shot at goal to just about win the game in the dying seconds, which could have given him an even higher KFC SuperCoach score if he'd kicked that goal. But we'll still take 149 points. That's his best score since round 7. 35 disposals, his most for the year. The captain could not have done any more. 9 marks, 12 tackles amongst that. Rory Laird and Nick Dacos. Well, both Dacoses were all huge in that game as well. So I'll be penciling that one in next time these two teams play. It always seems to go right down to the wire, which means there's lots of KFC SuperCoach points up for grabs. And there were lots of really high scores around this week, but I'm going to give this third slot to Matthew Johnson at Fremantle, because when a rookie produces a big score in a bye round and you have to rely on them on the field, that just makes such a massive difference. And he put up a 99 on the weekend, which is his highest score for the year and his second score above 90 through the byes. So absolutely delivering for his owners, especially the ones who held on to him when he was suspended after just a few games into his career. So he's really paid off as a bench rookie. He had 16 disposals, but they came at 94% efficiency. He had 7 tackles and a goal as the Dockers recorded that great win against Essendon. So now the question is, do you keep him to provide cover for the rest of the year, or you cash him in now? But either way, he's done his job, giving you a score like that in a best 18 round. Who was cold in round 15? Unfortunately, not all the rookies went as well as Johnson, and Ryan Marich was one who came into my team and a lot of other KFC SuperCoach teams at the bargain basement price of $102,000 for the Eagles in the forward line. Now, we weren't expecting big things from him, but he thought if we could get a 40 or a 50 out of him, that could really help in a bye round. It just wasn't going to happen. That score, I mean, you just had no chance playing in the forward line for West Coast on Saturday night. Only managed the 16 KFC SuperCoach points, had 6 disposals and a mark, didn't kick any goals. Campbell Chester came on as the sub and provided an extra number for a lot of people, including me, but he only got the 11 points as well. So it just wasn't a good weekend to have Eagles in your team, except maybe Elliot Yeo, who turned out could be a really good pick. Another rookie who didn't quite get the job done on the weekend was Bailey Humphrey, just the 34 points, his lowest score for a long time. He's been on a sensational streak of high scores, getting a really good role in the midfield, which he didn't really get against Hawthorn, and he's been kicking goals in the last quarter every week to really boost his numbers, but that didn't happen, and it was a big blowout, so it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference anyway. Now, Bailey's actually lost a little bit of money off his price tag after that performance, but he's still valued at over $200,000 more than his starting price, which is a fantastic result. Now's the perfect time to cash him in and use that money to finish your team. And this one is just absolutely shocking luck. I know a few people who brought in Jeremy Cameron over the last couple of weeks. Looked like a bargain selection coming off his bye, but he was knocked out by a teammate, Gary Rowan, on the weekend after registering one stat, and that was a free kick against. So he finished the game with a score of -3, and because that was a score, it actually counted towards your 18 if you only had 18 or less players available. So just absolutely rotten luck, and now he's probably a trade, given he's at least going to miss the 1 week through the concussion. So there's not a heap of value available there, but maybe you could look at someone like Callum Mills, who's absolutely plummeting in price. Jack Steele also very cheap, or Darcy Cameron in the forward line.